Hello, everybody. Welcome to the lunch table. My name's Evan. Today I'm joined with Zach, Joel, and Nick, and today we're going to be doing our week 3 recap and week 4 predictions. But before we begin, make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at lunchtable.takes and to like this video and subscribe if you enjoyed. We missed last week because we were busy. Well, me and Nick recorded something, but I forgot to post it. But we missed it. But we're back for this week. It was a good week of football. There's a bunch of good games, and we're gonna highlight some of those. We'll start off with the big headliner of the week. The Broncos and the Dolphins. The Dolphins won 70-20. They absolutely destroyed them. And yeah, Joel, what were your thoughts on that game? Other than it just being a complete blowout.
Keep in mind, I don't have red zone, so I can't see like every time something happens. So I'm sitting there watching the Browns game, and I'm seeing Tua drives down the field, hits Tyreek Hill left and right. Achane has over 200 yards rushing, and Raheem Mostert. They combined for how many touchdowns? Was it 8?
It was like 9 or something.
Stupid. Just between those two.
Yeah.
Like, I was in awe by just it's just showing how dominant this offense can be when Tua is healthy. And they were missing Jalen Waddle, which makes it even crazier to think about. And it just goes to show like their defense too isn't anything to, it's not terrible by any means. And this team is playing like one of the top teams right now in the NFL, in my honest opinion. When you put up 350 total yards in rushing, and then you counter that with over 300 yards in passing and receiving, you had everything going for you. You played a bad team, and I'm just going to say this right now. That Broncos organization is in shambles. The only good thing going for them right now, their coaching sucks, their offense sucks, their defense sucks. The only thing going for them is their front office that's actually putting in money to put in an effort to try and put something together.
Well, it's not working.
Yeah. I'm just saying. But overall, they had the opportunity to go out, get that, break the record for most points scored in a game, but they decided to knee it out, which I thought was respectable by Mike McDaniels. So, yeah, overall, I was in awe by this game. It was interesting to check out highlights and everything like that. So, one of the top offenses in the league, easy.
Yeah, I think I'd have probably needed out. I mean, it's kind of scummy just to run up the score like that. It was already ridiculous. I couldn't believe my eyes that it got to 75. That's like
the crazy thing is
that's like literally a Madden score.
They put in their backup quarterback and they still scored.
Yeah, Mike White threw like a 50-yard bomb.
The Broncos are just unbelievably bad, and I predicted they would be bad, but this is really bad. Like, how do you let up 70 points in an NFL game? And if you're the Dolphins,
in 2023 too.
Like, how do you even score 70 points if you're the Dolphins? Like, that was just unbelievable. I mean, Tua's like the best quarterback in the NFL. I mean, I saw a post today that said like the fastest timed speeds from players in the NFL throughout the first 3 weeks, and every single one of them was the Dolphins. It was either Tyreek Hill or Raheem Mostert, like every single one.
Probably.
So it's pretty unfair. The Dolphins are horrifying, if I'm being honest with you. They have probably the best offense in the NFL. I mean,
it's arguably the top one of, if not the top offense in the NFL.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said earlier, the Broncos are just absolutely horrible. So that doesn't help things. But to still put up the amount of points they did is pretty crazy. And I think I don't think we can overlook that Russell Wilson threw for over 300 yards that game. That was like the quietest 300-yard performance I've ever seen in my life.
It didn't matter.
Yeah,
they were down by so much.
I'm just saying, like the dude still
couldn't stop.
Like, I'm just saying the dude still threw for 300 yards. Now they barely scored any points, and their defense was just like didn't even like come to the stadium. But like, yeah, I don't know. Dolphins are terrifying. They're looking like the best team in the NFL, other than the Niners, I would say.
Yeah, the big takeaway from this game for me was they did all of this without Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
As well. Against the supposed no-fly zone of the Broncos. There has to be serious questions about Vance Joseph's job right now. Considering that the Commanders the week before dropped 35 points, we were like, okay, Eric Bieniemy might have this offense turn around, and then the Bills just shut them down.
Hey, but Mike McDaniel is a very good offensive mind.
He is an incredible offensive mind. I'm not saying he's not, but 70 points in an NFL game in 2023 is inexcusable no matter how you slice it.
Yeah.
Why do you say 2023 though? Like, why do you emphasize the year?
Yeah.
Because no team had scored 70 points since 1966.
I can't even believe somebody in the 60s.
It's been almost 60
points.
years.
Like all they did in like the 60s and stuff was run the ball. So I'm honestly shocked that happened back then and not more recent.
The 60s is like there's a lot of talent disparity. Like the guys at the top versus the guys that are barely making rosters are nowhere near what they are today. So you're gonna get games like that from time to time. It's similar to why Wilt would put up like 50 points a game in the.
Well, 60s. It's like college. It's like college football too. I mean, I guess you could say that. But
now,
I get that now.
Now the playing level in theory should be a lot more like even in 2023, and yet it still just doesn't matter.
Well, it wasn't in this game.
Yeah, Broncos, like, linebackers couldn't get off a block. Their corners were mixing up in coverage all game long. It was a complete and utter disaster for that team. And honestly, I don't know where they go from here. I expected them to not, like, take a massive leap, but I at least expected the defense to be consistent, and they're arguably the worst unit in the league through these first 3 weeks.
Yeah. What I was impressed with is obviously with how the NFL is, it's very pass heavy, but they scored 5 rushing touchdowns. So majority of their points came on the ground. And like Devon A-Chain just went insane. I mean, 203 on the ground, 2 touchdowns. He also had two touchdowns through the air as well. So if he had been fantasy, I mean, I think he had like 58 points or 60 points.
But in reality, who started him?
Yeah, nobody started him. but yeah, I think it speaks to how awful the Broncos defense is. I mean, their thing has always been like they have a good defense. Like they've always had a good defense. But this year, their defense is terrible. Like their offense hasn't been great, but it's been better than last year. Like Russ has played solid, and he looks better, but I mean they have to outscore people, and they're not built for that. So yeah, there's a lot of questions in Denver for sure, but I think this kind of shows the world that like Miami's like legit, like with Tua healthy and everybody, like they're going to be a good team in the AFC. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how far the Dolphins can keep it up. Because, I mean, we said this last year. We were like, Tua and the Dolphins are a really good team. But then once Tua went down, the kind of hype kind of came down. So Tua can stay healthy. I think this team can make a good playoff run.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm interested to see if they can keep this up, though, because last year – and – Tua came back last year, and they still weren't like near. Like they started out really hot, and they did not end hot at all. So I'm interested to see if they can keep it up this year, or if it's going to be similar to last year, where they start out like the best team in the NFL, and then they kind of drift off a little bit. Because last year, if you recall, they were about the best team. I mean, they were undefeated going into the week 4, I think. So I mean,
and Tua got hurt, and his
that's a similar situation.
That's why they fell off.
Well, Tua came back and played though. He only missed a couple games.
He wasn't.
He
fully
shouldn't
healthy.
have came back. Yeah, he wasn't fully healthy. He should not have come back.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm interested to see if they can actually keep this up or not.
Yeah,
it's a long season, and they didn't last year for whatever reason you say.
Well, they got a tough task this week. That's going to be a good game.
Yeah,
they play the Bills.
That is going to be a good game. I think they're going to beat the Bills.
They could. Very well could.
That's your eight.
Nick. Let's get on to your Colts.
Yes,
Colts
sir.
All right, we'll hand the conversation to Nick here.
The Colts snuck by with a win.
Yeah, snuck by is an understatement. It was pretty sloppy football on both sides, actually. It makes a little bit of sense considering the
conditions.
I think it was the remnants of Ophelia or something. But, yeah, it was a light rain for most of the game. Shout out Matt Gay making NFL history with 4 50-yard kicks, the first time that's ever been done in NFL history.
And they were pure.
Yeah, they wasn't even close. They all were right down the middle.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what happens when you actually pay a kicker. But I mean, it was a great team win on all sides of the ball. Gardner Minshew did not have his best game. I've seen better games from him, but I'm shocked after he pulled an Orlovsky, he rallied the team to go down that field goal drive and tie the game. The Colts. Yeah. Last year, Jimmy G did it in week 4, whatever it was, against the Niners.
Yeah,
he also threw a pick 6.
Yeah, he did throw a pick 6 on the same play. But the Colts D line is really, really good. Really good. A lot better than I thought they would be. Samson Ebukam has been one of the signings of the offseason for any team, in my opinion. He's been getting pressure on every single quarterback they've come up against, whether it be Trevor Lawrence or C.J. Stroud or last week Lamar Jackson. DeForest Buckner's been a beast stopping the run. Zaire Franklin is not just playing at a Pro Bowl level. He's playing at an all-pro level. He's leading the league in tackles by a wide margin right now.
Hi, Mom.
Little interruption.
But no, I mean, I can continue. They threw the ball 44 times with that.
Yeah,
they threw the ball 44 times. The Colts did 44 times in those conditions
with a backup quarterback.
I mean, it was impressive. I mean, I only got to watch a little bit of it, but I mean, Lamar couldn't take care of the ball again. He couldn't.
The reoccurring issue.
I mean, yeah, it's a big issue.
Was it Lamar? I don't know if it was Lamar.
I know Lamar had a fumble.
Hold on. Let me see. I thought it was the receivers and whatnot.
Yes, Lamar had 2 fumbles and he lost one of them.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. That's right. It was on his
ball struggles recently.
Yeah, he has struggled with ball security.
I'm enjoying it personally.
Yeah. Also, NFL released their power rankings for this week. I don't think this is me being biased, but they have the Colts at 28. There are not 27 teams in the NFL better than the Colts currently.
Where would you have it?
I think I had them at 21 or something.
Really?
Why?
Because I'm basing off of how they look this season. I don't care about anything that happened last season. But they had them above the Bears, Broncos, Panthers, and Giants.
I would agree with all of that.
I would agree with that.
They're better than the Raiders.
I mean, which one are you looking at? Because
NFL.com's power rankings.
Okay, because I'm on CBS and they have the Colts at 14.
Okay, that's too high. That's too high.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
that-
Well,
that-
they
What on earth?
they also have the Vikings at 29.
Dude,
I think that's
what?
valid.
Did you see the one like Bleacher Report Gridiron or whatever has the Bengals at like 16?
Well, I mean,
I don't
That's
see an issue
no.
with that.
I think that's
No,
low.
they're not
but
that bad.
I think it's low, but
Yeah,
But
I mean
they
that's a little bit low.
they
They
have
had
had
them
to move the
high
ball
for
on
goals.
offense, Zach.
yeah.
I think they've been that bad.
I think they have.
I think 16 is generous, to be fully
Awful.
honest with you.
You are an idiot in the bottom left screen there.
ESPN is
Okay, who's bottom left screen, Zach?
That's probably me.
It is Nick.
But
ESPN has
Nick, continue with your Colts
Colts
talk.
at 20.
Finish
yeah, they were lower than the Raiders. I think they're better than the Raiders. They're lower than the Vikings. I think they're better than the Vikings. They're lower than the Cardinals. I know they're better than the Cardinals. I don't care. They just beat the
Cardinals,
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
I'll just say
the
this.
Colts beat the Chiefs last year. Like
I'll just say this: that Cardinals team is gritty as all get out.
they are. I
I
don't
love-
know how, but they are.
But Nick, finish up what you were saying.
And
about
then
the
they
Colts.
had them below the Rams. They play them this week, but I think they're better than the Rams. And then they had them below the Texans, even though they just beat the Texans 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, the Texans.
So, like,
They're better than they're definitely better than Texans. I would have
Yeah.
a slight argument for the Rams, but
They are not.
we'll see this week. They
yeah,
play each
exactly.
other. Everyone else, it's kind of like, yeah, you can make an
Yeah.
argument for them being lower. Yeah,
But
but
could you make an argument that the Colts are the best team in the league right now?
no.
Zach, where does
Yeah, you can. You
Oh my
can't.
God.
No, trust. Listen, 31 other teams don't have Gardner Minshew, and we have Gardner Minshew. That's all we
Uh-huh.
need
Yeah.
to be
Minshew
honest.
magic, baby?
But it was a really gritty team win. A lot more fight than they showed at any point last season. And yeah, I'm not ready to call them a sneaky playoff team, even though their schedule is very easy quite yet. But I've been pleasantly surprised with their play so far.
They got good potential for that to happen. That is for sure.
Especially with how bad that division is.
Yeah, because we
I mean,
all.
that division does have the Jags, so
But the
Well, we
Jags
all-
don't
well,
look
Yeah,
good.
the world
Can we
beater
talk-
Jacksonville Jaguars through the first
Can we
3
can we
weeks.
they're
talk
gonna
about
beat
that?
the
Can we talk-
Colts.
Is there anything you guys want to talk about else with the Colts, or do you think Nick covered it? Because we could jump right into the Jags and talk about
Yeah,
how
that could be a
the
great
Jags,
transition.
Yeah,
the
I think
Jags
they
are
covered it.
one of the most underwhelming teams right now that I've been watching.
Absolutely.
They, dude,
look bad.
we all picked them to go to the. Some of them picked a. Nick, you picked them to go to the Super Bowl.
I have them going to the Super Bowl.
Like, I'm just saying, they don't look good at all.
Tell me
They
about
look
it. Travis
awful.
Etienne's been a little underwhelming.
Okay, we get it. That's your fantasy team.
I'm
Okay.
well. I mean, is it not accurate?
No, I'm just saying, as a whole, that offense is like awful.
Yeah, it's
And-
it's concerning if you're a Jags fan for sure.
It really is. Like,
Early season. We're early.
dude,
I mean, I wouldn't start, jumping
don't-
out of your
I'm
window
gonna
just
say
yet.
this. I'm gonna say this. That division is easily coming down to the Colts, which I did not expect that whatsoever coming into this season, and the Jags, because the Titans are not competing and the Texans are not competing either.
If the Jaguars cannot defeat the Colts and win that division,
I'm just saying when I say this, the Jags don't look like a playoff team right now.
well, right now they don't. But
They don't.
I mean,
But they don't. It's that simple.
okay, but we also must keep in mind that it is early, so there's a lot of time left in the season. But
Dude.
I agree they have not looked good though.
I
But I
understand.
don't, think,
Plus the Chiefs.
I don't know if we should say the Colts are going to go to the playoffs just yet.
I didn't say that.
No,
Like-
I'm saying that the division, the way it's shaping up, is looking like it's going to be between those two teams. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think. I mean, I
And
I don't
as
think we
Nick
saw
said,
anything different. Honestly, I mean, the Titans. I think we knew the Titans would be bad. Texans, obviously, they're always bad.
But my thing is, I don't think the Jags are going to run away with the division like we thought.
No, I
don't think
they probably won't smoke it. I mean,
what were you saying, Evan?
Their schedule's tough. I mean, they play the Bills, Steelers, 49ers, Bengals, Browns, Ravens. And
they play all the division winners from last year because they ended up winning that division.
And the Ravens and the Steelers.
Yeah.
So their schedule is not easy.
It's a tough road to the division title, but I mean, I'm not ready to count them out just yet. I mean, I think they've still got a lot of good pieces, and they've got a Super Bowl winning head coach in there. I mean, we do like. I mean, last year they were terrible going into the bye week last year, and then they got it turned around. So I'm just not ready to. I mean, pee on the fire and call it a day just yet.
Yeah, I think the big thing with the Jaguars, if they were putting up like 30 points a game, but their defense wasn't getting the job done, you'd be like, okay, Trevor Lawrence is still playing at a high level. Their defense will come around, hopefully, by some point during the season. They'll start winning games. But their offense has looked
awful
bad. Apart from like the second half of that Colts game, their offense has not looked good at all. 9 points against the Chiefs. They could barely move the ball against a hapless Texans team that Gardner Minshew diced up. Like, it's just I don't know what say about that. Although
they've had a couple rough showings.
Yeah, I will say this. A shout out to CJ Stroud.
Yes.
Like last week, I was like, yeah, he's due for 350 yards, but most of that came in the fourth quarter when the Colts were playing prevent. Like, he played well, but it kind of padded his stats a little bit. This week was not stat padding at all. 20 or 30, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's a great game, especially for a rookie. And speaking of rookies, Tank Dell is looking like a bona fide beast for that Texans in the wide receiver room. He's had 2 back-to-back fantastic games for that team. And he was kind of slept on a little bit going into the draft, but I don't know if we expected him to be putting up these numbers this quick.
Oh, no, not at all.
Yeah, he looks
really I love seeing rookie wide receivers ball out though. It's awesome. Speaking of another one that we didn't touch on when we were talking about the Colts, Josh Downs.
Yeah. Josh Downs
looks good.
The stats don't show it, but he's also playing super
Very
well. Yeah.
Very well.
He's going to be a great piece for that team for years to come.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Nick, to your point about the Jags and like Trevor Lawrence, if you look, like we all said that Trevor very well could have an MVP caliber season if the Jags played well. And so far, I mean, he's only thrown for 736 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and he has a QBR of 41.2, which ranks 26th in the NFL. So he's not really been playing particularly good, and he has gone against the Colts, the Chiefs, and the Texans. So none of those defenses are anything too crazy. Yeah, but I agree. I think like the Jags just look bad. Like they kind of look how like the Bengals have the last couple of weeks, where they're just like they're a good team, but they're just underperforming, and so. We'll see if the 1 and 2 start ends up hurting them, or if it's like Zach said, they catch fire after there in a couple of weeks and still make it to the playoffs. But I think the AFC South is a lot more interesting than people think it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand by the Jags here though. I was high on them going into the season, so I'm gonna stand by them. I think they're gonna get things turned around. Yeah, I mean, they have looked bad, though. I think it has been, like, similar. It's been a Bengals type of thing where offense just can't do a dang thing.
Well, at least the Bengals have a scapegoat of Joe Burrow's calf and him not playing in the preseason.
Yeah.
That's bad.
True, I guess Trevor Lawrence has just not been playing well at all, and he's completely healthy.
Yeah.
You're muted, Joel. Yeah.
I'm sure they'll figure something out, but
yeah, they'll get it turned around and be all right.
Yeah, they probably only need like 9 to 10 wins to win this division. So
yeah, they don't need anything.
They could probably sneak it out with 8.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that.
Be like the Bucs last year.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a yeah.
That was wild.
That was wild.
Speaking of another team contending that could be a contender for their division, the Packers came from behind down 17-0 and came back and won 18-17. And Zach, your boy Jordan Love's been looking pretty good so far.
Was I wrong? I was not wrong. I know what I'm talking about, man. Jordan Love is a good quarterback. He's been playing very well. He has all the physical tools, and I knew as soon as he stepped in the full-time starting job that he would play pretty well. And he has shown that throughout 3 weeks. And that's been without Christian Watson, mind you, too, because he's coming back this week. I really like where this Packers organization is at. I think they got a great franchise quarterback, and they got a lot of – well, actually, they don't have the Jets first rounder, do they? Because Aaron Rodgers didn't play the whole season.
Yeah, it's going to be a second rounder. Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, they picked up an additional second rounder. That's helpful.
And it's more likely going to be a high pick too.
Yeah, and I like a lot where the Packers are at here. I think they're in a great position, and like I said, I said it going into the year, and Jordan Love's a good quarterback.
I will admit, like, heading into the season, a lot of question marks. I wasn't sure, especially from the lack of game time that we got to see. But I will say it. I'm very intrigued by what I've seen from him so far, and it takes a lot to come back from a 17-0 deficit, and that you could tell he felt comfortable out there. Like, he has had, don't get me wrong, he hasn't really played the best of teams. Their only losses to the Falcons, by the way, Zach. But
Arthur Smith should still be fired.
But I've been very impressed with him. Even without Aaron Jones playing and Christian Watson playing, David Bakhtiari was inactive this past weekend too. That's your star left tackle, your star protector. Like, I've been impressed. I've loved watching Jordan Love and how he's looked. I'm interested to see how he does Thursday against this Lions team.
That's gonna be a good game.
I think it will.
That could be a crucial game for both their seasons.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I've thoroughly been impressed by, especially even we don't talk about this much, but the Saints defense is a top defense. They're an elite.
Yeah,
defense.
they're really good.
And to come back 17-0 like they did, that's all the props in the world to the Packers team. I love watching Jordan Love, and I can't wait to see what he can do for the rest of the season.
I love when I'm right.
Yeah, I'm not ready
I think
to
everybody
call
does.
him like a franchise guy just yet.
Yeah,
because I think franchise quarterback is very high praise. But I mean, looking at his stats, 53% completion percentage is not fantastic. It's like slightly below average. 655 yards is like, again, slightly above average. But 7 touchdowns, 1 interception tells me he plays great situational football. Like, he could be right now, he's a really good game manager. And if he can just put the ball on the money a little bit more, he could be a potential top 10 quarterback in the league. And part of that's because he is missing Christian Watson, his supposed number 1 target, against a good defense in New Orleans. I said before the season, I thought the Packers would squeak into the playoffs. I thought their pieces around Jordan Love, even if he didn't play amazing, were good enough to get in a weak NFC. And Jordan Love's been performing these first couple weeks. So yeah, and that's about it with them. 17-point comeback is impressive, especially if it's in one quarter. They scored all their points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
and especially with the cast that they have surrounding it too.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
Rookie cast. That's a young cast.
Oh yeah.
they're getting it done.
Evan.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, they're if you look at the receivers without Christian Watson, it's Romeo Dobbs, who's a second-year guy, Jaden Reed, who's a rookie, who's been really impressive, Luke Musgrave, rookie, he's been really impressive as well. And then you got and they didn't really get much out of their run game. AJ Dillon's been very disappointing this year when Aaron Jones is not in. So a lot of it comes to Jordan Love's shoulders, and he's been able to produce so far. I mean, yes, the offense kind of stalled for the Saints once Derek Carr went out with that shoulder injury, but still, like you mentioned, Joel, the Saints defense is still a really great defense. They have a lot of really great pieces in that defense that keeps them in games, and the Packers kind of just willed this game there towards the end, and it was fun to watch them come all the way back. And I think it's a big confidence booster for Jordan Love to kind of face some adversity and come on the other side. And I think the Packers are in line to have a good season. I think this Lions game this week is going to be a big one because both of those teams are ahead in their division right now, and so I think that one's going to be a key game to see who wins that division. Because I think the Packers are a legit team. I think they could definitely make the playoffs, but they're fun to watch. I like watching them play. And we'll see once Christian Watson comes back. We'll see if that offense changes or not, which hopefully that helps them out a little bit. But I've been doing pretty good without him.
Absolutely. Famous Jameis got in.
He did.
He did not eat his W. Yeah.
He did not eat the W.
I'm gonna go eat that W.
All right. Speaking of another team that did not eat the W, the Vikings fell to 0-3.
Yeah, they haven't eaten any W's.
They have not eaten any W's. They lost in a heartbreaker to the Chargers, 28-24. The big storyline for the Vikings this entire year has been their defense and how awful they have been. Like, if you look at the stat line, Kirk was 32 for 50, 367, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. You'd be like, oh, like that's solid stat line. He should be in the game. And that 1 pick was the final play of the game.
Yeah.
So he was playing a clean game of football the entire time. Jefferson had his 7 catches, 149, a touchdown. Alexander Madison got back on the right foot with 20 carries for 93 yards. So you look at the offense and you're like, oh, like, how did they lose this game? But then you look on the other side and you have Justin Herbert going 40 for 47, only missed 7 incompletions, 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. And they did all their damage through the air. They were very inefficient through the ground. Joshua Kelly was horrible. He averaged 1.1 yard per carry. Of course, I started him in fantasy this week, but that's the point. And then Keenan Allen obviously went nuts. 18 catches, 215 yards, but no touchdowns. Thanks to
tell me about it.
Yeah. And I mean, Mike Williams had a productive game, 7 for 121, the touchdown, but sadly he tore his ACL, so he's out for the year. So, I mean, the Chargers are kind of in that same position they were last year. I mean, the injuries are already starting to pile up on that wide receiver end, but hopefully with Quentin Johnson, that'll help them out a lot. But this was a big game for both teams because obviously both teams being in the playoffs last year, you don't want to start off 0-3. That's never good. And so for the Chargers start off 1-2, their season isn't completely over. But for the Vikings, they're on the outside looking in, and they got to talk if they got some things to fix. So I've heard a couple of things which they're not confirmed, but a couple people have said they could explore trading Kirk Cousins if they continue to be bad. A couple people have said that Justin Jefferson might be unhappy and request a trade. So there's actually a lot of questions in Minnesota that they need to answer. And for a team that last year was in the playoffs, what were they, 11-6 last year?
13-4.
Oh, 13-4, my bad. They were a really good team last year, and now they're 0-3 looking on the outside in, and their season could potentially already be over. So it was a big game, and the Chargers came out on top to save their season. So.
I'm gonna say this. I don't care that the Chargers won this game. Brandon Staley needs to be fired immediately. I said he should have been fired after they blew that 27-0 lead against the Jaguars last year. That was inexcusable. But watching the game, there's like 2 minutes left. There's less than 2 minutes in the game. 1 first down ends the game. They don't pick it up on their first 3 runs because they can't run the ball against the Vikings for whatever reason this game. So you have it at your own 25-30 yard line, and you go for it. And then you get stuffed. Meaning barring a fluky deflected pass that went off the hands of TJ Hawkinson who was picked, Brandon Staley just openly throws that game away.
Yeah.
For no reason. Like, if they were at midfield or, like, their own 45 or something, I would kind of understand it because, like, okay, they still have to go half the field to score a touchdown with no timeouts. Like, our defense can get a stop and we can seal the game.
Yeah.
But your own, like, 30-yard line, that's, like, 2 plays worth of that's, like, 2 15-yard passes for a touchdown. They can score like that. And then they milked more clock to where there was less than 10 seconds in the game. And again, barring that pass that went off TJ Hawkinson's hand that was intercepted, they lose. And we're talking about the Chargers being 0-3 and for all intents and purposes being out of the AFC playoff race because the AFC is so good.
Yeah, I think it is time that we start questioning Brandon Staley if we already haven't been. I think most people have. But yeah, with the Chargers have like the all the tools that they need, and they just cannot get it done for some reason. I mean, Justin Herbert threw for what 300 and some odd yards, and
405.
405, yeah, and they barely squeak out a win because Kirk Cousins made a mistake or TJ Hawkinson made a mistake. I mean, I don't really know like what is the issue. Like, is it Brandon Staley?
It is Brandon Staley. Brandon Staley is holding his team back. Like, Justin Herbert so far this season's had 74.4% completion percentage, 939 yards, 6 touchdowns, no picks. Like, Justin Herbert is not the problem. It is Brandon Staley and the fact that Austin Eckler's been out and they just haven't been able to run the football without.
Well, I think injuries are, like Evan said, I think injuries are starting to be an issue for them again. I mean, Mike Williams tore his ACL. He's out for the year. That's a huge blow.
Yeah, it is.
Down the road, they were still managed to win this game. But yeah, I don't know. I think Brandon Staley might be very much in trouble right now.
Where he needs to be.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, though. I mean, after you blow a 27-point lead, or what was it, 27 or 20?
It was like 27-0 or something like that.
Yeah. After you blow that in the wild card round, you're immediately on the hot seat after that. So yeah, Chargers. I mean, yeah, the Chargers season is definitely not over just because they were able to get this win. But I think some changes need to be made. Vikings are in a very rough spot. I did not foresee this happening. I thought the Vikings were going to be pretty good this year. I mean, I guess their defense just can't do anything. I don't know. But yeah, the Vikings are in trouble though. And especially if those rumors of Justin Jefferson requesting a trade and then trading Kirk Cousins, if all that's true, the Vikings
they gotta blow it up.
They're gonna blow it up, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys really hit the nail on top of the head. I don't really know what else to say. I mean, I knew going into this game it was going to be a barn burner because neither defense can get a stop.
I love that word.
Barn burner. I'm just saying, like, Vikings defense is so unbelievably awful.
Their secondary is so bad.
It is. And then on the opposite side of the ball, or the Chargers, they can't. I mean, have they been able to get a stop all year?
Not when it matters.
Not when it matters.
Like, their defense has, for the most part, not been able to close out games against Miami or Tennessee, and they almost did it again against the Vikings.
I agree. I mean, like I said, you guys hit the nail on top of the head. I think it's getting to that point where Staley's statistics and everything, it's getting dude, they can only take you so far.
Yeah.
But,
true.
But
all right, we're gonna touch on this game real quick. This is more a question for Joel and Zach. Nick, we talked about this last podcast, but obviously the Chiefs destroyed the Bears 41-10. And the biggest thing has been the disappointment of Justin Fields. And so we talked about this last week, me and Nick did, but I want to ask you the same question. Are both of you guys leaning towards being out on Justin Fields, or you still think he's got some potential left to be a starting quarterback?
Zach, you go ahead, because I got a little bit to say.
Like, I don't know. I mean, as much as I don't want to, it ain't looking good. I don't think it's looking good for Justin Fields at all. I mean, the dude's got Cole Kmet, solid tight end, DJ Moore. Well, actually, I think the Bears' issue is that they just don't use DJ Moore really too much. I don't know. The Bears are an awful team, awful organization. Justin Fields is burning his fuse very quickly. His leash is about an inch right now. I'm not ready. I don't know. I don't want to completely give up on him, but I am very close to saying got to do something else.
I will say this with him. He does still look for that home run play every time. He has a tendency to do it still. Am I giving up on him? No. And here's the reason why. How many design quarterback runs have they actually done for him this year? It's barely any.
Yeah,
you're taking away his top weapon, which is his legs. They've gone away from that so much this year that it's a big reason for why their offense is bad. Like, don't get me wrong. He needs to get better as a passer. And it's gonna come. But you gotta you know the strength of your team is getting Fields out and moving. I put a lot of that on coaching, but also, yes, he's played bad. And that team, I had high expectations for the team, and boy, was I wrong. So, but I'm not ready to give up. I feel like they need to use him better.
But here's my thing, though. Like, the comment on his throwing and like his passing game, like you say that'll come. When? Like, this is his third year. Like, when is it going to come?
I mean, can we talk about how they design their – I mean, yes, you have DJ Moore, and I thought DJ Moore would help, but it really – I mean, come on. It's a lot of the time they're just throwing freaking screens.
I mean, like – I definitely think that some of this does go on coaching, like just the fact that they aren't using Justin Fields like his strength right now.
You're not using Fields' strength, and you're not using DJ Moore in the correct manner.
Yeah, so I understand that it goes on. Like part of this blame does absolutely go on coaching. Like Justin Fields pretty much came into the worst possible situation that a rookie quarterback could have 2-3 years ago. The Bears organization is an embarrassment to the NFL.
I don't know about that. And they're notoriously bad at developing quarterbacks, though.
And their coaches their coaching is just unbelievably horrible. So, I mean, like, yes, but I do think some of the blame does fall on Justin Fields. I mean,
I agree. There's blame that has to be put on him. He needs to. He said it himself. He needs to be better himself. But I'm not. But the coaching also needs to use his top weapon of his legs in the game, rather than just scramble.
Here's one thing that you could consider. So like you say, like they only throw screens and stuff, which they tend to throw.
They have a tendency to throw a lot of short.
Yeah. Do you think that it's partially from bad coaching, but do you think there's also an element of like they know Justin Fields can't do it?
I mean, you have to. We've seen.
We know Justin Fields can, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
When has he showed he can, other than at Ohio State?
All the time at Ohio State.
Other than in college.
Well, yeah, I know that, but it's like me and Evan were talking about this. Like, we've seen him throw the football pretty well.
He can swing it, dude.
Especially against like Clemson and like Michigan and teams that have NFL caliber players littered on their team.
I haven't seen it in 2 years he's been in the NFL.
No, I'm out on Justin Fields. Like, I understand that his legs are like a factor that you have to use, but your main thing you have to learn how to do as a quarterback is throw the football. And especially at the NFL level. And he has not shown a semblance of progress.
Like, I'm not saying he can't throw the ball. Obviously, he can throw the ball. Like you said, he did it at Ohio State, and you don't get to the NFL without being able to throw a football. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's not doing it. He doesn't do it well. I don't know. And I do think it is worth saying that, you know, like to your point, you said we saw him do it at Ohio State. That's true. Look at the receiver talent that he had at Ohio State.
That's also a valid argument.
The other thing that you have to think about is, yes, he did it against Clemson and Michigan and a lot of other teams, but these are college teams. They aren't NFL teams. Like, they had NFL players here and there, but it's not an NFL team. These guys in the NFL are the best athletes in the world on every team. So, like, and Justin Fields went from having two of the best young receivers in the NFL on this team to having an average wide receiver one. So, like, I don't know if I will say that just because I saw him throw the ball at Ohio State that I am convinced that he can confidently throw the football.
We know what he's capable of, though.
But my whole point of that entire spiel was we saw it at a college level with dominant receivers. We have not seen it in
not just the players, the personnel for every team he's going up against is also top of their field. Like, there's a reason they're on an NFL team.
Yeah, exactly. So I just don't. Like I said, I don't know if I want to say I'm out on him yet, but like, I mean, I don't really know what else he can do. I mean,
he has time to turn it around. They're not going to bench him this season, but he got to fix it.
He has the rest of this year most likely to get it turned around, but his lead, like I said, he's walking on like centimeter thick ice right now. Like,
yeah. What I said last week, that one of my big concerns was it wasn't as prevalent in this game, but it was the game last week. Is when his pocket presence was bad again. The week 2, like there's multiple plays where he had so much time in the pocket and he would make the wrong read or he wouldn't get rid of the ball. And so some of that stuff, which is not entirely, which isn't on coaching, it's just on. I mean, obviously you guys got to get open, but that was what concerned me a lot. And also, I think he's just kind of in like, because obviously the Bears suck. So as it stands right now, they're going to have a top 3 pick. It's looking like
a couple top 5 picks.
Yeah, and with how good this quarterback class is coming up, that does Justin Fields a disservice. So because of that, the Bears might be more keen on moving on from him, even if they are not completely out on him. But I mean, if you have a chance to draft a Caleb Williams, a Drake May in the top 3,
they're gonna take it. But here's the other issue, though.
So,
like, here's the other issue, though. Even if they have like multiple top 5 picks or whatever, and they do draft Caleb Williams or they do draft Drake May, like, the coaching is still an issue. Like, it's not all Justin Fields. Like,
no, the coaching is a massive issue.
Like, I think this entire Bears roster, coaches all the way down to the punt returner for the scout team, should all be fired.
What's up with you and firing everybody?
Weaver would be a terrible CEO.
If they aren't
They
performing,
all
His-
need fire.
His
They're out.
HR rep would make one mistake, he'd give him the boot.
It would be the slightest thing ever too.
Yeah,
well, hey, I mean,
they wouldn't give Kyle
Okay.
Pitts the football.
I will say, I have defended Justin Fields for the first like two years he's been in the NFL. I have defended him because we have buddies like Peyton Doucette, who has been on this podcast actually, who has said from the get-go that Justin Fields is horrible. And I have defended him for the first 2 years, and I can't do it much longer. The dude's running out here. But the coaching staff is still putrid. They need to their coaching staff is vomit. Like they need to get new coaches. Or figure something out. Because even if they draft they can draft Caleb Williams or they can draft Drake May, and it might get a little bit better, but I don't think it's going to get completely fixed until they address all of the issues. You know, like you can't address the quarterback and not address like the coaching of the schematic issues, because then it's still going to be an issue, you know?
Yeah, I think Caleb Williams is good enough to kind of get over that, but everyone else, it's like, yeah.
But like, I don't even know if I say that though. Like the dude, like,
that's a different topic for a different day.
Yep.
yeah.
We don't need to get into that right now. All right, last game we're going to talk about here in week 3, the Bengals and the Rams. The Bengals finally pulled out a win. It wasn't pretty, but a win's a win nonetheless. So the season is not completely over. Bengals fans, what did you think of that Monday night performance?
Going into it, Joe Burrow should not have played in that game.
I agree.
I agree.
I'm just saying,
I was
Joe Burrow
pretty.
He shouldn't have started week 1.
I was pretty disappointed that Joe Burrow played in that game. But I think that the absolute best case scenario happened. Like Joe Burrow came in, like they won the game. Joe Burrow did not get hurt again. There was no major setbacks. Like he didn't retweak it or make it worse. He got out of that game just as healthy, if not healthier. Actually, no, definitely. He left that game healthier than he did leave the game last week. Like I said, he did not re-injure it. They won the game. That was the best case scenario, I think. And I think they got the win. Their season's not over. They very well could be once this week is finished, there very well could be a 2-way tie for first and a 2-way tie for last. So there's still only one game out from the rest of the division. I think they kind of got onto something in the second half. Jamar Chase got going. He had 12 catches for 130 yards or whatever. He still hasn't found the end zone yet, but Jamar Chase finally kind of had his breakout game. They were able to get him more involved because tensions were rising. Jamar Chase was displeased with his usage, as were every Bengals fan in the nation. So they figured that out a little bit. Like I said, Joe Burrow still he didn't do anything crazy, but he went out there and he led them to victory, and he did not play horribly, and he did not get re-injured. So I think that was the best case scenario for the Bengals.
They finally decided to run the ball.
Yeah, that was huge too.
Dude.
They used Joe Mixon and actually ran the football.
Mixon. Is Mixon not averaging like 5 yards a carry right now?
He had 3.4 yards a carry last night. I wouldn't say that's fantastic.
Well, he's playing good
On the
football.
season.
He's averaging 4 yards a carry.
Okay,
Joe Mixon is a
This
good
season.
running back, and he's
He
playing
is.
good football.
Shut up, Nick. Your running back's not even playing right now.
Yeah, that's real.
Period.
But when he does, look out.
I'm sorry, but
Yeah, we'll see.
They the first 2 games of the season, they refused to run the ball.
Yes.
And when you give Mixon the opportunities, the offense was actually capable of moving, because on that drive where they scored, Mixon played a key part in that drive.
Yeah, as
he should. Exactly.
But
I
see,
think that was the best game defensively that I have seen from the Bengals in a while.
Oh, that was a beautiful defensive performance. They had 6
Trey
sacks.
Hendrickson was getting to the ball They were getting pressure without having to
send
emphasize
like 8
pressure.
guys. Yeah,
Trey Hendrickson.
they were
raised
getting
a
pressure with
family in the
4.
backfield.
Like, don't get me wrong. I know it was up against a backup tackle, but they knew that going into the game. Trey Hendrickson looked amazing. Sam Hubbard getting to the ball. BJ Hill, they were all getting there. And that's a key thing you got to realize. When you're able to get pressure without actually having to send pressure, you're gonna be sitting pretty.
I think we have
the
to.
The secondary's finally starting to get it more and more. I feel like we also I understand that the Rams haven't looked they've actually been a lot better than what I was expecting the Rams to look this year. I will give them that. I didn't think the Rams would be very good or be capable of moving the ball much either. And of course, your defense is still going to be solid when you have Aaron Donald. But I feel like you also have to throw the Rams some slack. I think the Rams have actually outperformed what I was expecting heading into the season.
Yeah, I would agree.
Evan?
I think we also have to mention Logan Wilson having 2 interceptions and Dax Hill. Dax Hill had a day. The Bengals defense is unbelievable. Their defense can't possibly play any better than they did. Their defense is unbelievable.
You were so mad 2 years ago when we took Dax Hill.
I've stopped caring about the Bengals drafts because they never do what I think they ought to do. So I've stopped caring. But
and you were so mad because they took Dax Hill.
But yeah, their defense is unbelievable. Their offense, I don't like. They finally figured out. They finally figured out something a little bit in the second half, but I'm not really sure. But they're just so sluggish.
They haven't changed one bit since they made the Super Bowl.
Well, something's changed because you can't even deny that it's looked horrible.
No, the league is catching up to them.
Yeah,
this is the same offense that was basically ran when the Rams went to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff.
We have not ran
the
one
league is
under center play this entire season.
Huh?
We have not got under center one time this year. Not one.
What I'm trying to say is Zach Taylor was in that offense under Sean McVay. It's similar. It's not under center, but it's similar. And Zach Taylor hasn't adjusted. Teams are going to catch up.
I actually don't think the Bengals offense is similar to the Rams at all, honestly. I'm going to have to disagree with you on that one. Because the Rams like to run a lot of outside zone. They like to run a lot of bootlegs off of the outside zone. They'll go like single back and they'll run that type of stuff. The Bengals don't do that at all. The Bengals will run like inside outside zone, but they don't line up under like there's no bootlegs. I would personally say
you kind of can't do anything completely different.
I think we'd have to consult an actual coach a little bit more on this, but I think the Bengals offense is completely different than the Rams offense. I'd actually almost rather us run the Rams offense because they're somehow Sean McVay gets their receivers running wide open half the time.
Well, that's another point that you just bring up. How often do you see like a guy like Jamar Chase running free?
Not often.
That's how bad our offense is.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Look at Tyreek Hill. Look at Tua. Look at Patrick Mahomes. Look at any team. Justin Jefferson.
Tua guy.
Huh?
The Rams can do this crap with Puka Nacua. Why is Jamar Chase not leading the NFL in yards and touchdowns right now?
It's because that's what I'm trying to say.
Teams will play 2 high safeties against the Bengals because they know the wide receiver talent that you have. And when you
But 2 high safeties does not that's not the end all be all of defense.
No, it's not. But in terms of deep routes and whatnot, it kind of makes those not an option.
I would argue that you can scheme up some deep routes against 2 deep safeties.
It's very hard, and you've got to have Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback to put the ball into.
I don't know, man. I mean, you can run, you can throw the football and get your receivers open.
You can.
I would argue no matter what the defense is. You just have to know how to do it and be willing to do it. But I'm not really sure what our offense is right now. Yeah, so I've been pretty disappointed with the Bengals offense, honestly. I think that they have the best skill position room in the entire NFL. So there's no reason that they should be struggling as they are, and one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But I mean, they kind of found something in the second half. It's been pretty rough sledding for them, though. I'm not really sure who's calling the plays or what's going on here, but something should be revisited on the offensive side of the football here.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Evan.
To wrap up this portion, I think I was happy with the Bengals defense. I think this is the best defensive game they played all year. It really was surprising to me how awful our defense was the first 2 weeks. Like, yes, we knew the offense was probably going to be sluggish, obviously with Burrow's calf and the whole not playing in preseason and everything. But usually our defense has been a huge staple of our team. And like week 1 and 2, they were just getting ran over. I mean, Lamar had his way. Nick Chubb had his way. Like, they were just getting bullied. Like, there was multiple videos of our linebackers just getting pushed off the line 10 yards down the field. And, like, we don't normally see that. So I was happy to see guys like TJ or Hendrickson. I was happy to see him really kind of do what he has been throughout the year. Dax Hill played really well. He continued to show what he can do. He had a sack and a couple of TFLs, which was nice. And Logan Wilson, he obviously, like Zach said, had a great game, getting 2 picks. So I was happy to see that. And one thing about the offense, I mentioned this to Nick last week, our offense has been very complacent. Like, I agree with you, Joel. I don't think we've changed anything since the Super Bowl. I think teams are starting to figure out what we like to do, and we haven't adjusted yet. And I think it's a big issue because, yes, we have this super talented offense, and we have some of the best guys in the NFL, but we can't get the ball to Jamar Chase. We can't get the ball to T. Higgins. And we're not running Joe Mixon as much as we need to. And so this game was a bit of a different storyline. We started finally just feeding Jamar Chase, which I think we should be doing every single game. I mean, he's your best player. He's an outstanding route runner. He's going to get open. And at least with him and Joe, they've been on the same page. It seems like these first couple weeks, T and Joe haven't really been on the same page. But, yeah, I think whoever's calling plays needs to either adjust something or something needs to happen because our offense is they're very basic and very complacent. Like yesterday, I saw we put T. Higgins in motion for the first time, and I was like, "What the heck is this? Like, this is awesome! Like, we need to start using our weapons, like guys like Justin Jefferson, like the way that the Vikings use him, or guys like the Dolphins, how they use Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. Like, all these offensive minds use these players so well, and we just don't. Ours is run the ball. If that doesn't work, we'll check it down to Joe Mixon. If that doesn't work, third down, we're going to throw a go route or a deep out to Jamar and T. Higgins and pray they come up with it. Like, that's been our offense for the last 2 weeks. And this week was a little bit better, but we're still not at that point of where we're one of the best offenses in the NFL. So we got to get back to that.
Third down, I'm going to say this right now. Third down, anytime you have a third down, Jamar Chase needs to be lined up by himself.
Yes.
I don't care if it's too high. That kid, he could run a slant and he'd still be open. Get him by himself. Get him the ability to get the ball.
And here's my other thing to go off of. I mean, okay. Disclaimer here: I'm not a coach. We aren't coaches. We have we're limited here in what we know.
Yes.
And I have all the faith in the world that the Bengals football team and their coaches can get this turned around, and they know what they're doing. I have all the faith in the world on this. But like to go on the whole, I agree. Jamar Chase is their best player. He's their best receiver. He should be by himself. And I'm just thinking, like, just from what I know, like, even if you're playing two safeties, I don't care because two safeties, I feel like a lot. And now the NFL defenses, they'll disguise defenses like crazy in the NFL. But a two safety look sometimes, a lot of times, that's like a cover two type of look.
Yep.
So if you put Jamar Chase into like the boundary, and they have a two safety cover two look, you can hit him in between the corner and the safety zone. That is the hole of a two safety cover two. In between the corner, that's the hole right there. They're weak there. That's where you hit it. And if you don't want to do that, then you line up and you run somebody down the middle of the field and split those two safeties. There are holes with two safeties.
Yep.
Now the concern is if they're like literally manning up Jamar and pulling that safety as a help. That's tougher, but then like you said, the dude can run a slant and he'll be open on that.
Well, that also can open up the other side. It can open up a lot more options.
Exactly. Like there's options here. I think they need to get some stuff tweaked here because yes, teams are starting to catch up a little bit. It's time to adjust. Like they got great players at every single position of this football team on the offense. They should be maybe the best offense in the NFL. Like it's time to adjust this. Be
an offensive mind and adjust. Amen.
Exactly.
One last note on the game. Before yesterday, the Bengals went 3-and-out 46% of the time, which is horrible. So
yeah, that's an issue.
All right, let's rapid fire.
They haven't scored a touchdown. They haven't scored a touchdown in the first half yet.
Nope,
they have not.
Got to run the ball, man.
They barely scored touchdowns in general.
Got to run the ball.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's do some predictions, shall we?
Let's go!
I say we rapid fire these bad boys.
Can we start off with the toilet bowl?
The Caleb Williams Bowl?
Which one?
The Caleb Williams Bowl.
There's two. The Panthers don't have this, but the Vikings-Panthers play each other too.
Those
are the other 2-0-3 teams.
I feel a lot more confident in that game than I do in this.
Yeah.
The other
Broncos
Bears. Right. Caleb Williams Bowl. Broncos Bears.
Oh God.
Williams Bowl. Broncos Bears. Who you got?
I'm going to take the Broncos in this one. The Bears are terrible, and I don't think Sean Payton's going to let this bull crap happen again. It's going to be an awful game and a close game probably, but I'll take the Bears, or I'll take the Broncos.
Nick, you want to go?
Yeah, I think I'm also going to go with the Broncos. At least the Broncos offense has shown me something at some point this season. And I trust Russell Wilson and Sean Payton more than Justin Fields and Matt Eberflus, so I'm going to go with the Broncos in this one.
What an awful game.
Can I say a tie?
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, for real.
No, I saw something on Twitter yesterday, and it's like the Caleb Williams Bowl point of view. You were watching the Caleb Williams Bowl, and it ends in a 2-2 tie.
Two safeties were scored.
I saw that. That was funny.
Real.
You guys are going Broncos. Give me the Bears. I don't. They're definitely not making the playoffs, but I'm picking Bears.
Bears. I'm going Broncos as well. I think they're going to win 3-0.
Can I point something out real quick? I had both those teams going to the play.
He had both of them in the playoffs.
In the world did you in good conscience pick both those teams to go to the playoffs?
Well, it makes a little bit of sense before the season.
Yes, it did.
It made a little bit of sense. Like, Zach, I could have seen it.
Zach, the hype around Justin Fields, they brought in all those pieces in the offseason. That's why I was high on the Bears. With the Broncos bringing Sean Payton, a capable coach that I thought was a capable coach. And then defense I thought was pretty good. And then I thought Russell Wilson could be able to do something with Marvin Mims, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Javonte, Samaje P. I thought he was going to do something, but I was wrong.
I have thought that ever since Russell Wilson's left Seattle that he is just on that downward slope of his career.
He's played
So
better
that's why I
this year
didn't
than he
think the
has
Rockets
last
would
year.
be good. Huh?
He's been
Yes,
better
he has.
this year so far.
Yeah, he's been better than he was last year.
He's still not as good as he was in Seattle, but he's been a lot better.
I don't think
so
he'll
far
ever
this
be that
year.
good again.
No, he won't.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to turn us off that, but I wanted to point that out. Okay.
All right, Thursday night, Lions-Packers. Thursday night football.
It's gonna be a really good game.
Zach, who you got?
I think I'm
It's
gonna
in
have
Lambeau too, by the way.
It is in Lambeau.
I think I'm gonna have to take the Lions here. I think the Lions are gonna pull it out. It's gonna be a heck of a game, though. I think.
Yeah. Really, really good game. I'll take the Packers in this one at home. Especially if I don't know if Aaron Jones is coming back. I haven't. Like
He's been-
he's questionable.
Yeah.
Okay, short week. I don't know if he's going to play. But I mean, Jordan Love hasn't shown me anything wrong. And we didn't talk about this game, but the Lions' offense looked a little sluggish against the Falcons.
Yeah.
The Packers are just coming off a fantastic comeback win in Lambeau Thursday night. That place is going to be rocking. I'll take Green Bay in that one.
I'm on the fence on this one. There's some key injuries that are going to persuade me to one side. With Chauncey Gardner-Johnson out for season, right? He's out for the season.
Peck injury.
Yeah. I feel like that's going to play a big impact. And if Jair Alexander doesn't play, that's going to play an even bigger impact. This is a tough one. I'm going to go with the Packers as well. Home field advantage. I think Jordan Love comes out. That Lions defense is susceptible. They got a great front seven, but I think that the Packers take care of business at home.
I'll be on your side, Weave. I'll go with the Lions. Jared Goff usually plays pretty well by time. Plus, I think their offense is gonna kind of outduel that defense. So, but I think it's gonna be a very close game and probably one of the better Thursday night games that we've had in a little bit.
It's gonna be a heck of a game.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Next up, we got the first London game of the year, Falcons-Jags. I feel like both these teams, that's their second home.
No kidding. Seems like they're
I'm
the.
gonna take the. Gosh dang it!
What?
He's gonna do it.
Oh, I thought you were talking. I thought I was interrupting you. That's why.
Oh.
Okay, never mind. All right,
No.
I am going to.
Is he gonna do it?
I don't think I can, in good conscience, do this. I'm gonna have to take the Jags here.
You stink.
Wasn't last year this game was like 9-3 or something like that on like a game
Yeah.
winning
It
field goal?
was terrible.
Yeah,
I think Trevor Lawrence is gonna start to get things turned around a little bit. I hope.
Hear me out, guys. Kyle Pitts breakout game because he can't score a touchdown. He can't score a touchdown in the United States.
Oh, I might have to start him this week. That's true.
He can't score a touchdown in the United States.
His only
but he can
touchdown was
score
in
over
London.
there. I'm going with the Falcons.
That's real. Similar situation to Weaver. I think I have to go with the Jaguars here in order to save face on my prediction. I could very easily see the Falcons winning this game, though.
Honestly, the Falcons' defense has been better than what I expected.
It's been all right.
Yeah.
It's been
Now
better.
I have a serious debate here in my own mind if I should start Kyle Pitts.
I'm starting him.
Figure that one out.
But I got to roll a Sam Laporta, I think, here.
Yeah,
Sam
you're
Laporta plays for the Lions. Oh, wait, no, I'm
Yeah.
stupid. I thought you were saying you played for the Jags. Disregard me.
Go ahead, Evan.
I'm going to go with the Jags. I think they have been underperforming, but I just think they're too talented of a team to go down 1-3, and I think they'll pull it out because
Be different.
the Jags or London's their like second home. So
Yeah,
they
Be
also
different.
play London game next week for some reason. So
they do.
Wait, the Jags do or the Falcons?
No, I don't. Do they play a London game next week?
Yes, they do. Or it might not be in London, but it's not in the U.S.
No, it
Are
is
they
in London. They play the
Are they
Bills
just-
next week.
Are they just staying
Yeah,
in
they
London
play-
for 2 weeks?
I think so.
What?
It's interesting.
Bro.
Why would they do that?
I'm not sure.
Because the Jacksonville residents don't want the Jags in Jacksonville.
That is odd that they would do that.
I think the Jags have a pretty strong.
They have a
Fan
strong
base.
following.
Yeah, because they've been there 40 times.
Yeah, for real.
Understandable then. Next.
All right. The game of the week: Dolphins Bills. This one should be a good one.
Give me the Dolphins.
I
Is it?
think
Wait, where is
I'm
it at?
going-
It's in Buffalo.
Buffalo.
I'm still
This
gonna
is
go
a
Dolphins.
near impossible selection. I think dude, I don't know. I can't decide here.
He's thinking.
We'll
The
come back to
Gears
you.
are turning.
We'll come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll come back to you. You said you were going Dolphins,
wants to go?
Joel, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
I went
Joel's
Dolphins.
going Dolphins. I'm also going to go Dolphins. They're hot.
I think in that case, I'm going to go Bills then in Buffalo. It's so hard. Dolphins have looked phenomenal these first 3 weeks.
We take
But the Bills,
Sorry, Nick.
yeah, the Bills beat them the last 2 times, although one of them was without Tua. I think Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs have a legacy game together.
You know, we
I'm
take
gonna
be
have to
different.
go with- I'm gonna have to go with the Dolphins here. I think that Josh Allen has had issues this year. He's been pretty turnover prone. He's had some issues. The Dolphins look like the best team in the NFL right now. I think it's gonna be a good game. I think the Dolphins' offense is gonna cool off a little bit, but I think they'll edge it out.
We take be different to a whole new level.
Yeah, we do.
We do. Ravens Browns AFC North battle.
This is another tough one.
This is a great matchup.
Yeah.
I'm going with
I
the
think
Browns.
I'm gonna have to roll with the.
I've been very impressed with the Browns this year.
I'm gonna have to roll with the Browns. I think this week.
Well,
I think
they're losing.
I think that the Ravens' offense outside of the Bengals game hasn't been impressive. I don't think Lamar Jackson's done a lot to impress me this year. The Browns' defense is one of the best defenses in the NFL, as much as it pains me to say. And their offense is horrible, but their defense is just so good. I'm taking the
Browns
Browns.
played well last week. They played good. Deshaun Watson actually played good against the Titans.
Well,
Deshaun
it was
actually
a
played
once in a
very well.
lifetime type of game for him.
Also,
Oh my God.
Okay.
So Browns.
This is tough.
It is a very tough game.
Because of the Ravens' injury concerns, I think I'm also going to go with Cleveland. I just if the Colts D-line, I said earlier is very underrated. But if the Colts D-line could get pressure all game against Lamar Jackson, I am terrified to see what Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith are going to do to that team. I think it could be low scoring, but I think the Browns edge it out in a nail biter.
I'm being different. I'm going with the Ravens. I think Lamar's going to ball out. I think he's going to have a great game. Yes, they have all these injuries, but I think they're going to overcome it, and Lamar's going to have a great game.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Sticking in the AFC North, we've got the Steelers and the Texans.
Steelers.
I'm gonna have to take the Steelers on this one. CJ
Dude,
Stroud's
that's
been
actually
playing
a
good
tough.
football.
That's
Yeah,
tough.
that's a lot tougher than I initially thought.
CJ Stroud's been playing pretty good football, but I just think the Steelers are also kind of in the same way as the Browns. The Steelers just, I feel like, have a very good defense. So I think it's going to be a tough game, tough sledding for the Texans. I think the Steelers are going to take it.
Yeah, I'll go Steelers too. I mean, their defense has been really good. TJ Watt's been insane. And their offense is kind of coming along, but still not great. But I think they're still overall better than the Texans.
I'll go with the Texans in this game. The backup tackle, Laramie Tunsil, not being in currently concerns me. But CJ Stroud has been playing really well. Tank Dell and Nico Collins have been balling out. The Steelers have not been good against the pass this year, although we kind of expected that. I I think their defense is slightly like overrated. Their front seven's good. Like they get pressure a ton. That's what they do. But they're not good against the pass. They're okay against the run. Their offense is not good. So I could see the Steelers pulling this out, but I'll be different. I'll go with the Texans at home.
Nice.
I would love to see the Texans win this game.
Me too.
Yeah.
All right, Bengals Titans
In Tennessee?
and Tennessee.
Yeah, in Nashville.
Does that really matter?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm taking the Bengals here. I think they're going to start getting back on track. I think the Titans are not very good. So I think we'll see the Bengals take this one. But it'll probably be close because the Bengals offense is but
This will be a defensive game.
now begins the turnaround, I think. I see the Bengals taking this one.
This will be a very defensive game. I'm going to go with the Bengals, though. Very close. I think it'll be a close game, actually.
Yeah, especially with hurt Joe Burrow and their offense not doing what they should be doing. But I think they're going to take a step in the right direction here.
Is it bad I could see us losing?
No,
Yes.
No.
it's a very real possibility.
Yeah.
Zach said yes.
as badly as I want to pick the Titans in this game, because I was not impressed with the Bengals as much as some of you other guys were last night. I am going to take the Bengals in this game because their defense last night did really impress me. With how they played as a whole.
I'm confused.
The defense is going to have to win games.
Yeah, until Joe Burrow's calf fully heals.
Yes.
Like it's going to be a lower
Legit.
scoring, grinded out type of game. Joe Burrow's going to have to make some plays though, because the Titans' run defense is really good. Like they're not going to be able to run the football against Jeffrey Simmons and company.
I think they'll get it done.
I think they will too. I think they'll pull it out in the end. So I'll go with the Bengals.
Nick, you're just a hater.
I'm just a hater.
And that's true.
And then who'd you
We're going with the Bengals for all the same reasons Joel said.
Bam.
All right, Vikings Panthers, the battle of the 0-3 teams.
What a game.
The Vikings are taking this one. Come on, man.
Is Bryce Young going to play?
I don't think it matters.
No.
The Vikings are winning this game. This is when the Vikings get their first win.
Yeah, they
The
have.
Panthers are not a good football team.
This is when the Vikings get their first win. Week 4.
Nah, the Vikings have to take this game. I know they're 0-3, but they're a significantly better team than the Panthers are.
If they lose this game, then the season's over.
Yeah,
Trade
the
everybody.
season is actually over if they
Trade
lose.
Kirk Cousins to the Jets.
Trade everybody if they lose this game.
I could see Carolina actually doing something. Not going to lie. But
Why?
I'm going to actually, you know what? Be different. Give me Carolina.
Well, I'm going to need a
It is
reason.
in Carolina.
It is in
Zach,
Carolina.
these are supposed to be rapid fire.
Yeah, it's just right.
They're supposed
You
to be
have a
rapid
reason. You're just taking the Panthers.
Vibes pick.
If
Vibes,
Bryce
man.
Young plays, I feel a little more. Andy Dalton didn't look bad.
fire.
The
Bengals
Red Rifle
legend
did
Andy
not.
Dalton.
The Red Rifle did not look bad.
I was thinking last night if we had to put, because there was reports that we might have to put Burrow on IR. I was like, bro, we have to put Burrow on IR. I'll give Carolina a call. Bring Andy Dalton back. Andy Dalton helps us go to the playoffs. That'd be an amazing story. But
Whatever
Amen.
takes us to the playoffs.
that's besides the point. I'm gonna go Vikings. I think it's a must-win game for them, and I think they're gonna. I think they can't lose it. And if Bryce Young plays, if he doesn't, I don't think it really makes that much of a difference. All right, next we got Nick's Colts going up against the Rams.
I could see the Colts very well losing this game. The Rams D line is really good. Our O line has been better, but not great. But I think Anthony Richardson's going to play this week. I don't think the Rams defense, especially their secondary, is that good. So I'll take the Colts at home. And we're going to be 3-1. Who would have said that going into the season?
I'm going to take the Rams here. I really don't think the Colts are all that great. I think this is where the hype train slows down a little bit.
There's no hype train. No one's talking about them.
You are.
Well, obviously, because I'm a
He's
Colts
a fan.
fan.
Of course he
Yeah.
is. It's just like you and me talking about the Bengals.
But
Well,
the
at least
Bengals
that's
are
warranted.
No,
Yeah, that's
I mean,
warranted.
yeah, but
right now. I'm taking the Rams with this one.
Evan.
I was gonna go Colts, but because Nick hated the Bengals, I'm going Rams.
I didn't hate the Bengals. How did I
Oh,
hate the
yes,
Bengals?
you do.
Joking.
That's unbelievable.
Don't worry, Nick. I got your back. I'm gonna go with
Yeah. Oh,
Oh.
Yes.
wow. That's a shame. So am I the only person that has faith in the Colts?
I mean, I do.
All right,
I could
as
see them
usual.
winning this game. I definitely could, but
I could see it happening too, but I'm taking the Rams.
you know, I'm in between on that one.
No, listen, I don't care. Y'all keep doubting us.
That's it.
They got to go through us.
Keep sleeping. Keep sleeping.
They got to go through us.
Yeah, they got to go through Lucas Oil,
All right.
baby.
All right. We actually have to go through this rapid fire because my computer's running out of space.
Yeah.
So it's freaking out. So,
All
all right. Bucks Saints.
I'm gonna take the Saints here.
Where's this?
I'll take New Orleans.
Nolans.
Narlands.
Give me the Bucks.
Mardi Gras.
Give me the Saints. I'll take New Orleans.
I'm going the Bucks because Derek Carr's not playing.
Oh, that's true.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
he's
changing that. Give me the Bucks.
No,
I did not know that.
Bucks it is. I'm going Bucks here.
I completely forgot about that.
I did
You guys
too.
don't
If
stay
Derek
loyal
Carr's
to
not
your
playing, the
pick.
Bucks.
You guys don't stay loyal to your pick.
I didn't have enough information to correctly judge this pick.
Gosh.
It's your job to know the information.
Yes.
That's true.
Eagles Commanders.
Eagles.
Eagles.
We don't need to take too long on that one.
Eagles easy. Chargers Raiders.
Chargers.
Yeah, Chargers.
Chargers.
Chargers it is.
Patriots Cowboys.
Them boys.
I'm going to take the Cowboys here after
It's
that.
it's in Dallas.
Yeah, it's in Dallas.
I feel like this is going to actually be a lot closer of a game than
It
what we
is.
think.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Dallas, though.
Also gonna go Dallas. Cardinals
Where's
49ers.
Ryan at?
Dude, give me that.
Cardinals.
I'm just kidding. You know I can't go against
The Niners are good.
McCaffrey. Give me the Niners.
Yeah, the
Niners
Niners. The Niners are gonna blow them out.
Not even close. 49ers. Chiefs Jets.
Chiefs.
This is such a shame that Aaron Rodgers got hurt because I would
I
be
know,
tuned into
because
this game. If
This game would
He
have
was
been
playing.
so great. I wish they would start flexing games already.
they are going
For
to,
real.
yeah, that's true. But they do it in like week 5 and later now.
Yeah.
Or they can't.
I wish they would do it a week earlier.
Yeah.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
got
Chiefs are
Chiefs
gonna
Is
here.
there
take
2
it
Monday
pretty
night games
easily.
this week?
Nope. Just one.
No, just one.
What the heck?
Seahawks Giants.
Oh
Good Lord.
Hey, this game's not even bad. The Seahawks are 2-1. The Giants were a playoff team last year. Oh, the Seahawks were too.
But the Giants are also
Giants
missing
also
the
notably
offensive
regret.
piece.
Yeah, they are.
Seahawks it is.
Seahawks.
Seattle.
I'll be different. I'll take the Giants.
Good.
That- I love it.
Probably an L pick, but you know, that's what it
Love
is.
it. I love it.
Also, off topic, the Reds won today.
We did win. They're not dead
Well,
yet.
it
Yeah.
doesn't matter because they're not making the freaking playoffs.
They're not
Well,
dead yet.
Ellie hit a
It's
467
getting
foot
close.
home run.
Yeah, I heard
Yeah.
about that.
Also, shout out the Buckeyes for
Buckeyes.
Uh,
Being Notre Dame.
gritty,
That was an
gritty win in
immaculate
South
win.
Bend.
It's Ohio
Yeah.
against the world.
That was
Yeah,
a
shout
mean win.
out Ryan Day for calling out an 86-year-old man in a post game press conference. It was deserved though. It was
Yeah.
absolutely deserved.
Maybe we should start talking some college football because it's been a good season so far.
It has
That's
been a
amazing.
great
It has been
season
a good-
so far.
college
It's
has been
super
good.
entertaining.
That's been really entertaining.
There's some entertaining games this weekend.
Were those all
Oh,
the
yeah.
games, by the way, Evan?
Yeah,
Okay, well,
I took
good.
out like 5 of them.
Oh, okay. We aren't picking all of them.
Oh no,
we
picked every
we
single-
picked all the games. We just didn't talk about.
but we
all of them.
didn't. But we didn't talk about every single game from last. week.
Oh, okay. Yes,
Yes,
yes.
no.
Well, I knew that.
We did pick every single game,
Okay.
but we didn't talk about every one.
Yeah.
Notre Dame has another tough task this week.
At Duke. That's
played
true.
Duke.
I think
I got
Duke's gonna win.
Colorado.
That'll be a good game. What's up? Oh, Colorado, USC.
Utah plays Oregon State.
Mhm.
Colorado,
USC.
Yeah, that game's gonna be 62 to like 20, dude. That game's not gonna be close.
USC is
I
gonna
know.
blow out Colorado.
There's a lot of hype still.
There is a lot of hype, but USC is gonna win this game, and it's not gonna be close.
All right, well, that's gonna wrap it up for us for this episode. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll be back next week for week 4 recap.
5.
Week 5.
Oh yeah, week 4
predictions.
recap. Yeah.
We missed last week, but we're gonna try to make it every single week from here on out. So, hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys next one. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.